Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another H-Powers 4 replay. Spawn on top left side is the blue Malians, we have a 3D printed cat. Spawn on bottom right side is the orange Roos, we have a 3D printed bee. Let's see, Roos versus Malians. Since we do have a Roos player on the field, let's go ahead and swap on out and see the trade bounties. And we do also have, wait, Spearmen? We do have a Spearman rush by the Roos? I don't think I've ever seen this before. Of course, the Malians is one of those player factions you could try rushing down. Let's see. The Malians does almost have enough gold to advance the next age, so he will not interrupt the age. Let's see now, Roos versus Malians. I was going to say we could talk about the feudal age stuff, but the dark age stuff is a little bit more pressing. We do have, of course, only 45 trade bounty. I think he only has the one scout on the field. He's cleaning up these forest puppers. These ones have not been touched. The Roos can deploy out. Oh, trying to stab down these villagers now. Trying to go for a total outpost. Just let him throw some torches there. It does have a bit of health to work with. I don't think you really have to retaliate against the total outpost at the moment. Trying to get some more damage onto it. Trying to go for this villager. Does get an early pick there. Does lose a spearman to the town set of arrows. Does get some good damage there. Total outpost will go up. Now let's see. The Roos can deploy out early knights in feudal age, which will be very useful. The Malians have a lot of unique assets out on in the entire tech tree. Only thing they have in common with any other factions probably the siege weapons and the archer. Of course, the scout technically, but that can be upgraded into a unique unit. I suppose it's technically still a unique unit since it's also more expensive. So, yep, let's see now. Oh, looks like the Malian player does find some of these forest puppers. He's trying to engage. Does get a slice there, and does get the kill there, so he does go ahead and claim. The Malian player does claim that forest pupper. These ones have been claimed, these ones have been claimed. He's currently at 105. Oof. I think the Spearman rush was a bit of an abject failure. He does, of course, have tier 1, which gives villagers plus 5% food gathering rate. As well as provide a little bit extra gold with the hunting cabins, which does add up, in my opinion. Right now, it is providing, this single one is providing 20 gold. This mining pit's providing 70 gold. And do have this wolf being killed off by spearmen, which is not usually what I say for one way to collect up trade bounties for the Roos player. And now do have age 1 or... And of course the Kremlin being pulled out of the field. Rarely ever go for the... What's the other one called? This Golden Gate, I think it was? I can't even remember the name. Zalak Doggo will be cleaned up, does bring him up. That he can kill off both board to get up to tier 2. He will definitely need the high trade house to get up to tier 3 this game. Now we've got feudal age research for the Malian player. It is, of course, the standard Mansa Quarry. Mansa Quarry does give you a little bit extra gold generation or stone generation. You could go for early stone generation if you're eyeing for a quick second town center. And the Kremlin is a very powerful asset in the early for a landmark for the Roos because it not only gives a nice defensive landmark to protect the area, and the militia to really help them protect the area, it also acts as a wooden fortress with the wooden fortress sphere influence to increase the wood drop off as well. So not only you get your inherent, since most people view the Kremlin as by default in general, so not only you get your improved food collection through trade bounties, now you get your a little bit extra gold generation through the hunting cabins, but you also get a massive free wood drop off in starting feudal age as well. So the Roos economy does tend to explode starting feudal age. The Malians do have, of course, some good gold generation assets, as well as some food generation through the cattle farms. That's their primary economic benefits, some extra free resources. There's actually 2 gold deposits right next to each other, but they're too close to each other, so you can't share the infrastructure between the two while unable to build additional. So both these gold mines are going to be a little bit stunted. However, it is going to be a bit safer to protect or easy to lose them both at once. One of the two. Spearman and scout here. Got the scout trying to get some torches here. As I am for a mining camp to get a bit of extra gold as well. Both of them at 96 gold, so it's 200 gold income. Let's switch over here. People mentioned beforehand I need to get the villager counts up here. I keep forgetting that. The Malian player doesn't have a whole lot of food collection. He's building out an archery range here with those sheep collector. And now Orange is advancing to the mining pits with an additional scout and spearman. Probably the archery range is going to be very useful at this moment in time to hit those spearmen, and the scouts of course can't deal with archers. They can only deal with other scouts and siege weapons. And yet they're still good torch carriers. There's something I want to try since I play the Mongols exclusively. I wonder how... Hear this out. Speaking of torch carriers, think instead of rushing spearmen against the Malians, think about rushing scouts. They are technically cheaper than spearmen, so you can probably get them out quicker, and they're much more mobile, so maybe getting out 4 scouts in order to torch down Malian housing around the mining camps could be possible? It's a stupid idea. I have no idea how effective it is. It's a theory at this point in time. Spearman moving around. We got, of course, the scout scouting around. He does not have the warrior scout research. We do have some javelin throwers. Very nice. Javelin throwers are a pretty nice unit in most situations. They hit hard, so they're good versus higher armor units, as well as a good counter to archers, a very common feudal age unit. Right now, the Roost player is not deploying much. He's getting out some palisade walls. That's what he's deploying. Let's fast forward a little bit since it's a little bit quiet on the field. Does torch down one of the housing here. Bit of a homewrecker they are. Roost players starting to collect up some of these forest puppers now. And now eyeing for this boar as well. He will also get some good berries afterwards. Blue's scout will scout ahead. Fortified palisade walls going up. We do now have the survival techniques being researched for the Roost player. And the board does go down. Let's take a quick look at the trade bounties of the Roost. I haven't paid attention to that recently. He is at tier 2, so he does have the minimal ideal trade bounty. And the scouts being annoying. Trying to block the palisade walls there. We do have the archers now engaging the scout there. And just only have spearmen deployed up by the Roost. Got some Donzo deploying field. Does throw some javelins there. Does not take out the scout. And that scout damage is pushed way forward. We have a handful of stables being deployed on out. They may be eyeing for sofas or warrior scouts. The boar is also being cleaned up by Orange as well. He is getting greedy. This is a boar on his boat inside the map. I wonder, are Malians classified as Islam? Can they eat boar? I know they have Eams, which is the, probably my horrible way of pronouncing the Muslim priest, monk. But I don't know if they're technically classified as a Islam civilization. You now the fortified palisade wall going on up. Trade house being deployed out as well. Probably the best spot he can get it for. Actually, no, right there would probably be best, but that is, of course, a bit far forward. Trade house is almost complete. No tournament. It's just a 1v1. I think it was just random ranked. We do now have this boar now being cleaned on up. I actually only has cleaned up 800 of it, so has a 1200 remaining food. Do have some javelin throwers here. Archers and Donzo now advancing on forward. Do of course have now Castle Age for the Roos. He's eyeing for a bit of assault. Let's see, he does have 7 militia there, so Archer I say 14. He has a good amount of militia he can call upon, which would be more than enough to engage the small force. It's 9 versus 6, so both sides still a small force. And now we do have the Grand Funari Corral, however you pronounce it. Yeah, Moscow. I think they are classified as Islam, so they probably can't claim the boar. These cattle ranches, are they too far away from the corral? Yeah, probably not. It just seems a bit far away. Got the Knight Research. And the scout does get impaled by a javelin. We got the Stalonzo camping that relic there. He could perhaps eye for some siege engineers to get out, batter down this fortress. Scout, not warrior scout, trying to torch down this wall now. And now got a big wave of militia advancing forward. I'm not sure he's trying to eye. I think he's trying to get ward away this force. He's going for imported armor, giving us Sofa's +2/+2 armor. It is a replay, not live. I try to go for replays that are at least, at minimum, 20 minutes long. I think this one's about 27 minutes long. We have now the militia now torching down the palisade wall there. It is getting repaired on up. We do have some spearmen getting some hits there on the sofas. Archer is now engaging. The sofa, 2 sofas do go down. The sofa's backing on off. I hear some relics picked up by Orange. Militia do die from dysentery right there. Yeah, I try to only do replays because whenever I try to do something live, I have no way to verify of how their rank really. And when I first started casting this, I found some really bad live games. Oh, there goes that EM. Try to go for this relic here. I thought he knew about this wooden fortress. Maybe not. Oh, now he does. Now Blue's going to retaliate against that. The boar is probably still has 1,000 food remaining. Oh no, that it has 150 food remaining. Do now the Sofa's now trying to engage. Does get inside the wooden fortress there. Does not have any upgrades there. Sofa's do right now have 6 pierce armor, so the wooden fortress does 1 damage per arrow, barring the. Nope, there's not even a primary arrow since it doesn't have arrow slits. Gonzo trying to hit the warrior monk. He does manage to pick the relic himself. Trying to repair up the wooden fortress there. May just want to start to slice up his villagers there. And that wooden fortress will go down with all the villagers inside. He does not have this army nearby, nor does he have a large enough force to engage. He could try. I think he's going to try to convert them. But probably best idea just to run them down. If you're able to get the full encircle into them and hold in place, you could potentially steal 8 villagers. If that's even a thing. We do have now Sophos now engaging. Does have a couple spearmen here, but the Sophos should be able to win out. There's so many of them. He's the Sofa King. Sorry, that's an old joke. Does take out a good number of damage there. Sophos now pushing forward. Sophos trying to engage over here. Does lose some of these archers now. And over here, it's trying to destroy some of that. Destroy the hunting camp there. Got a conversion over here. Does kill off the EM there. And now these knights have received a bit of fire there. Ben Dawson now trying to torch down this palisade gate, fortified palisade gate. And this wood line's almost cleaned on up. This wood line's still untouched, unpolluted. Do now the fortified palisade gate receiving a bit of fire there. It will shortly go down. The villagers may want to evacuate from the gold deposit, perhaps to the town center. And there's actually But not enough room for that townsend to hold them all, but he does actually retreat more down south. High Trade House may need to get these villages evacuated around it as well. Start pushing way forward. Orange has a force here. He's denying the reinforcements. Cutting out the reinforcement like that will give him a lot of free kills. Sofa's now rotating around. Has a couple of challenge throws here to hit these archers. And I think the Sofas are pretty good at hitting those archers as well. Just pick off that archer there, but does split a force there. This force can get killed off. He's going straight for the villagers there. These forces are backing on off. Over here, we've got a single Sofa engaging. Archers and Javelins get some damage there onto the Knights. They will have a bit of trouble with it. Now got some militia now trying to force these guys out of the walls. Right now, Blue does have water force in the field, and Orange force is largely supplemented by the militia. Got some archers now engaging these forces here, but the Sofas do have so much armor, they will take minimal damage from these archers. They have 9 damage, the Sofas have 7 pierce armor. Trying to push it forward. Got now the Sofas engaging. Archers trying to focus fire. This Sofas are slowly being picked apart. They're of course lower quality versus the Knights and damage wise. Knights they have 25 damage mode, while the Sofas only have 21. The Sofas will overrun this force. He does have more reinforcing archers here. The Sofas do also bonus damage versus infantry, so they will do slightly more damage versus these archers. Got some warrior monks here. He's pushing for this warrior monk there. He's trying to go for conversion. Risky, but sometimes fortune favors the bold. Warrior monk do also have more health than other monks. Needs to go for conversion there. Does go for conversion. Warrior monk has full health. He's receiving a lot of poison arrow fire. And does not get any conversions there. He may lose the warrior monk now. Warrior monk will back on off minimal health. Poison arrows will do some good damage over time versus heavily armored units. And the warrior monk is falling back there, trying to deposit the relic. Trying to torch down some of these other mining camps there. Does have a nice little force here. 52 versus 28. The quality is also actually surprisingly high for the Rus, even though he's down half the size. The quality difference is actually not too significant with all these Knights. Knights do cost 240 total, while Sofas are like, what, 180? 180, yep. These archers went a little bit forward, received a bit of fire there from the Rus archers, and now they're going to get left behind. The Donzo needs to charge forward. Let's get javelin throws there onto these Knights. And he can kind of clean up these fresh force puppers from the High Trade House. Let's get some good hits there. These Knights does get a good charge attack there. Got the Saint's Blessing there, improving their, I think, damage and armor. Plus 2 damage, plus 1 armor. Rus archers are starting to disintegrate. He is now bringing on wave of militia, 8 militia here. Up supplement his force. Of course, militia are light melee, so the archers do bonus damage versus them. They do bonus damage versus cavalry in return. Archers engaging as well. Focus down the Donzo with the archers, very good. Warrior monk does get a Saint's Blessing there. The radius of Saint's Blessing is very small, but it's still very useful. Falling back, some of these villagers may want to back on way. They're about to get hit by their Sofas. Villagers now trying to stand a fight. Orange just have more villagers in opponents, so we can tolerate to lose them more. More of these Knights advancing forward. The militia have mostly expired as well. Just 2 of them remain. That may be a fresh pair. And right now the villagers are collecting up the deer in combat. Archers pushing way forward, trying to focus on Blue's archer as well. Got some more Donzo being put on field. Warrior Monk does get some Saint Blessing here. The Warrior Monk does not need to stay alive with Saint Blessing to be applied. Or to stay in effect, it is a I guess, pulse aura, if that makes any sort of effect. Or any reasoning. Nice push way forward, trying to get some quick damage on in. Archers are still focusing on the Donzo, very good. It keeps those Donzos down, then you can hit these archers. These archers have been applying constant damage and constant damage over time. Right now, Malian's force is down to 38, the Rus force is down to 31. And the quality is actually higher for the Rus right now. The Malian player just may need to fall back, get some reinforcements, regroup. Nice and in pursuit. Archer still doing some good work there. He could pull out some crossbows, help deal with his sofas. And Muscati warriors could be used versus these knights, but probably generally the Donzo would be a better option. Engagement on open ground here. Looks like the Bruce player will come out ahead, but it's going to be a pyrrhic victory. He has still a good number of archers here. Warrior Monk could get some Saint's Blessing here for these archers. There's the Saint Blessing of those archers, giving them +1 damage, or +2 damage. +2 damage actually is quite big on archers. On them really hit past the armor. Remember, that armor is 7 versus the archer's base damage is 9, so the Saint's Blessing will actually double their damage. Against sofas, at least. These Donzos being picked off by these archers, very nice. Oh, and this gold mine is not getting hit by these knights. And the Malian player does not have a lot of resources in reserve. The Bruce player has a good amount of resources in reserve. We do not have the Donzo advancing on forward. We're trying to push forward, trying to engage these veteran Donzo. Knights are engaging the sofas, but the Donzo won't get some good hits on those knights. Villagers charging them forward. That's probably not good time to advance forward with villagers. Right now, the Rus player has a massive force in the field with a good number of archers. The Malian player may need to get out some javelin throwers. Javelin throwers do have high base damage, so they do decent versus knights as well. Knights and sofas now engaging for Donzo support. Alright, back on off. I hear a population. Oh, the Rus is actually a max out population. Look at that. 200 out of 200 versus 114 out of 175. Holy crap. How did the Rus... Oh, look at the Rus player's villager count. He's at the nearly 150 there. That is probably a little bit overkill. He does currently have 3 towns in the field. The Malian player only has the 1, but does of course have the free gold generation from the mining pits as well as the free gold generation from the cattle. So now take a quick look at resources. 23, 2,000, 1,000. That's probably around 6,000 resource income, while this is just around 3,000. That doesn't seem right. I think the Rus economy is more than doubled. Yeah, it does have a little bit. It does have more mining techs as well. The Rus passives are very powerful, I guess. The sofas are engaging. The sofas are still generally a good idea. They just having trouble dealing with all the archers. Finding some general damage there. Though he doesn't have any more warrior monks improve their effectiveness. I'd say they provide some general damage. Still not that great though. These knights are of course just hard to deal with sometimes. Need some more Donzo. He's been a good job at sniping those Donzo with the archers. You can see they're already being queued up and focused on the Donzo already. Knights now charging forward. Does see a spear lance attack there. And now we also have the warrior monks here with some Saint's Blessing affecting these forces as well, giving some great effects. And the Rus player does back of the game now. This is Great saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.